Okay, so what I have is a rare interview of Helen Schuckman herself, described in a course. Oh. It's a 13-minute about her talking about what it was like for her to do this. She was very private. She didn't want to be public about what she'd done with the course. She definitely didn't want credit for it. She was just used. You know, she says, you know, I believe it's true, but I don't have to do it. Was her opinion. You know, and I don't go public on it. But some guy, I forget his name. He's got about 15 spiritual people on his website that he's also passed away, that he's interviewed. But Helen was one of them. And then 10 years after he passed, she passed, and 10 years later he passed, and then 5 years later somebody was digging through his attic and found a cassette tape. It said Helen Schuckman on it, and this is it. So. Yeah, and you can buy it off their website, off the Foundation for Peace.
Regarding the voice you heard in describing A Course in Miracles, did it come from outside or from within?
There's nothing that I would call ordinary audition about this at all. It doesn't really... It's a curious thing, and it will be very difficult to explain. Somebody asked me, was it as though your hand was moving? No. I wrote perfectly voluntarily in response to. I call it a voice, but a voice has sound, or sounds as though it had something to do with hearing. I didn't hear anything. I think it's a sort of hearing that you can't really describe. It doesn't have anything to do with ears or waves hitting a drum or anything on that order. I don't really know. I think maybe I'm using the wrong word when I say hear. I sort of recognized it. It was very rapid. I could even, if I didn't catch a phrase, I could sort of say, would you mind doing that again, you know?
This was in your mind?
This is strictly mental. Otherwise I would consider it hallucinatory activity. I don't feel it.
So Helen, you know, she was, you know, nice enough, very likable because she was very candid. And personally, I like people who are really candid, even if they're rough. If they speak what they mean, I like that. I appreciate that. That's
very direct, huh?
They're direct, yeah.
It's honest.
It's honest.
Oops.
Yeah.
I think it is.
So Helen was she and Bill had a codependent relationship. Bill's her boss, right? And they would work 8-10 hours a day in the office, including an hour in the beginning of the day to describe the Course in Miracles. Work the whole day, battle over budgets and battle over class syllabus and so forth. Then they would go home and have dinner and then call each other at night. 7 p.m. phone call.
To do what?
To continue the argument.
They continue arguing about the work day? It was sport to them.
It was sport. It was sport because they're both very intelligent, and I think neither of them knew anybody else who could keep up. I mean, they would cut each other, they insult each other. And I'd say, oh yeah, but you, remember. Oh yeah, okay, you got me there. You know what you really should do? You should do this. I should, huh?
But they'd be upset with each other.
They loved each other deeply, but they would be visibly upset all the time.
Well, that's one way to have emotional engagement.
I have a relationship similar.
Do you really? Yeah. Do you respect
I don't even understand why I'm in the relationship with this person. And it's been since 1974. And every time I think, okay, this person's out of my life, they just show up again, and it's all over again. Why are you here? What is this about?
Just like that.
And it's just like, it's your fault. You did this. Like, I did not choose this.
And that person so cleverly knows you, so deeply knows you. If this is the same thing Helen and Bill had, she could say, Bill, it's your fault. And here's why. A, B, C. And last year you did it again, so that's really deep. Yeah. And he's like, all right, Helen. Maybe I said those things, really those things, but
yes,
And she'd listen, and he'd explain. They'd have this intelligent banter back and forth. They were so tight that, say somebody said it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
They would only care that the other one knew whether or not it was their fault.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else didn't really matter, but Helen or Bill, they were codependent in this way. Sparring partners is really great. But, so it's kind of an interesting, deep intimacy.
And we only saw each other on social occasions, but ironically, whenever there was a time to share like a ride from one, like from a funeral to a thing, he'd get lost. Like, for an hour, because we were like going back and forth. It's just a weird...
It's intimate though, right?
Yeah.
In a terrible way.
Yeah, I mean, my husband even asked me why I never married the guy. And I just like, are you kidding me? I could not even deal with that.
Right. I think you have had this kind of relationship.
You get to know the other person pretty well.
Really well.
Super well.
Were they like that till she passed?
Yeah.
All the way.
Because they were both retired at that point, but they still would...
Call each other at night, 7 p.m. call.
Every night till the last minute.
7 p.m. call.
And you remember, like in kindergarten, when somebody of the opposite sex would come and slug you? You know what that means?
But they like you?
Yeah.
Like when you're
young.
Somebody did punch me in the nose and like pretty hard.
Even to the extent
What the hell was that?
where Bill purchased a small summer cottage so he could get away. Because there's teachers, so I forget the summers. And he had off some little small lake somewhere. He got this little cabin, and he ended up building an extension on it for Helen. Because Helen, he says, "Okay, Helen, I'm going to go to the cabin for a month. See you later." He says, "I'm coming with you." But I said, "I'm coming with you. You should make arrangements and tell your wife." Of course, he didn't have a wife, but she had a husband.
She had to tell her husband, and then she would go and stay
Lily
there.
would have to go. You couldn't tell Helen anything.
She knew everything she wanted.
She got what she wanted always. Very strong, directed woman. I'm coming to your cabin, Bill?
So in her autobiography, or did you know them? Or?
No, I didn't know them, but I do know Judy Scutch. And every once in a while I have lunch with her, chat with her, and she told me all these stories. But all of this you can read about in a couple of places. There, where's the most recent place that just came up? There's a book out.
Well, he talks too. He has I saw a video of him on Bill Thetford on YouTube. It was a YouTube video where he talked about their relationship. I don't remember how I saw it, but I do remember seeing him on a video talking about their relationship and the Course in Miracles.
Good. Yeah. And there's also a recent book that just came out last year, 2 years ago. Actually, Cindy Renard's mother wrote it. Almost separate from Gary and everything else.
About them?
About Helen. About Helen's... who's it about? Is it about Helen?
She didn't know Helen.
She didn't know, but she's a biographer. And she wrote a biography. I think it was on Helen. Now I forget.
Because they had a long time, Course in Miracles, her mother and right?
Yes, I believe so.
So,
Yeah. Or she wrote it about Judy. Maybe it's about, I forget. I never read it. I read it. Anyway, there's a couple places you can learn the background on it. Yeah. There's some radio interviews, too, that Judy did that are online.
Does she live in the Bay Area?
She does. She's up in Marin County.
How old is she now?
She just turned 80. Well, this is May, so she just turned 81.
She's part of the community more anymore? That gets together?
No, not really, no.
She keeps herself?
She keeps herself, does her own thing. Runs the Foundation for Their Peace.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I call her the Queen.
She wasn't part of the group that had Gary Renard a few years back? Oh.
She doesn't go to course meetings. She kind of saves herself.
She's married?
She's married, yep. Nice guy. He's also a course student. They could match each other. Let's jump in.
What chapter?
17, buddy. How about that?
Shadows of the past.
Yes. Let's do Shadows of the Past, page 354 in the text. So we'll spend a little bit of time on paragraph 1 because we never really finished it up from last week. And we'll, this page 354, 354.
In the text.
All right, come on, Karen, fill in for John. Chapter 17, section 3, called Shadows of the Past. Ready? Would you read paragraph 1 for us?
Shadows of the past. To forgive is merely to remember only the loving thoughts you gave in the past and those that were given you. All the rest must be forgotten. Forgiveness is a selective remembering based not on your selection, for the shadow figures you would make immortal are enemies of reality. Be willing to forgive the Son of God for what he did not do. The shadow figures are witnesses you bring with you to demonstrate he did what he did not. Because you bring them, you will hear them. And you who keep them by your own selection do not understand how they came into your mind and what their purpose is. They represent the evil that you think was done to you. You bring them with you only that you may return evil for evil, hoping that their witness will enable you to think guiltily of another and not harm yourself. They speak so clearly for the separation that no one not obsessed with keeping separation could hear them. They offer you the reasons why you should enter into an unholy alliance to support the ego's goals and make your relationships the witness to its power.
Okay, pretty heavy. So he's talking about these shadow figures. These are the memories that you have in your mind that you would hold that somebody has actually done something bad to you. These doesn't have to have a name or a face, but it is the bully, or it is the selfish person, or it is the aggressor, or these are shadow figures from your past that you claim are real personalities that could come up any day. And when I meet you brand new, I'm looking to see, do you match any of my shadow figures? Should I be defended against you? Let's see if she picks up the check.
You remind me of somebody who did that before.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, how about that first sentence? To forgive is merely to remember only the loving thoughts you gave in the past, and those loving thoughts that were given you.
I like that. That's good.
Wouldn't that be a different way to live? Only the loving thoughts do you keep. Everything else washes out. Because the bad stuff happens, you know. People are selfish. They're, totally ego controlled and mean and nasty. Yeah, because they're calling for love. Sometimes it really sucks the way they do it. But to retain that is a shadow on your life. Not to mention not letting them actually heal. You're holding now those people whom you think have done harm as identified with harm.
You brought your grudges along with you.
Mm-hmm.
Who brought those grudges to the party?
There's baggage. Yeah. Yeah. So this as a section is wake you up to that. And of course, we're talking about special relationships coming to holy relationships. We don't want to be looking at each other through this colored glass. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty clear. Sentence 9, they represent the evil that you think was done to you. That you think was done to you. You're holding these thoughts. Karen, when you're ready, would you read paragraph 2?
It is these shadow figures that would make the ego holy in your sight and teach you what they do to keep it safe is really love. The shadow figures always speak for vengeance, and all relationships into which they enter are totally insane. Without exception, these relationships have as their purpose the exclusion of the truth about the other and of yourself. This is why you see in both what is not there, and make of both the slaves of vengeance. And why whatever reminds you of your past grievances attracts you, and seems to go by the name of love, no matter how distorted the associations by which you arrive at the connection may be. And finally, why all such relationships become attempts at union through the body, for only bodies can be seen as means for vengeance. That bodies are essential to all unholy relationships is evident. Your own experience has taught you this. But what you may not realize are all the reasons that go to make the relationships unholy. For unholiness seeks to reinforce itself, as holiness does, by gathering to itself what it perceives as like itself.
This is a really great Course in Miracles paragraph for a couple of reasons. And also, this is one of the places where it mentions sex. You guys feel that in there at all?
No, I didn't. But I can see now what you're saying.
You can tell who's minded that way.
What's that word?
That word is called sex, Dick. You know anything about that? Okay.
He's talking about bodies.
Union through the bodies. Yeah, you kind of... this is one of the places where it talks about you sort of get approval and desire to have union through bodies. He says...
He knows you're going to want to do it anyway.
Watch out for this. Yeah. Okay, it's these shadow figures that would make the ego holy in your sight. Because the ego is a defense monger. The ego will keep you safe. The ego will make you look good around people who don't look so good. Or somebody who looks better, the ego will do its best to make you look, good too.
Yeah, by dissing them, you get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. You don't want to lose, do you?
No.
Of course not. Yeah. And the ego would teach you what you do to keep the ego safe. Or shadow figures would teach you that what you do to keep the ego safe is really love. The kind of things you do to keep your ego safe and proud and your self-esteem high and all that, isn't that how you love yourself?
Yeah.
Not really.
You go to the gym, making your body look good.
Well, you go to the gym because it's supposed to be good for you.
How about
Well, there's
I don't go to the gym.
aspects. There's longevity and
Right, so you're not qualified. No, I mean, there's good, non-selfish, simple,
Self-care.
neutral reasons to go to the gym. There's also going to the gym out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody will love me if I don't work.
That's true.
There's fear, and there's nothing. The body itself is a neutral thing. But boy, can it drive a lot of things that are not neutral at all. Yeah. That could be confused with love. Is doing things for the ego to prop the ego up, make win. To compete and win and crush the opponent. We do these in special relationships all the time. But what your ego, feels like what you're doing is the right thing for you. You just said that you're wrong. But you're going to show them how you're not wrong. And it's important that the score is that you are not wrong. You're actually right. And so this is the ego's job is going to crush the competition whenever possible. And this is one of the definitions of love. I got your back, says the ego. I will make sure that you look good. When this is all said and done, all the screaming is over, you're going to look good. Even if I have to make you apologize. after you crush, of course. Bloody, on the floor. Then I'll have you apologize and you're going to look so good. Not until after you crush the opponent. That's true love.
And
So
you're always
that's
trying
the
to
ego.
feel better about yourself, even when it's not that dramatic. And it just keeps it all going.
Yeah, it keeps it all going. Yeah. That's a mistake. And you do feel good about yourself for a little while. But you just don't mind. What we're trying to get here is a correction of mind, where we can rejoin. Well, goodness.
There's no reason not to feel good.
Right. Yes.
That's our natural state,
Yes.
is being joyous,
Yes.
just being joyous.
Yeah.
For no reason, you know.
Doing.
Yeah. 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 For no reason.
Oh, imagine.
Okay. The shadow figures always speak for vengeance. And all relationships into which the shadow figures enter are totally insane.
Now, is that literally shadow person?
Well, shadow because it's a memory. It's not actually a person we're talking about, not actually a figure.
It can be
with
just
a
an
face.
energy field or something like that.
No, it's a memory. It's an energy field because memories are energy fields. But what it is your memory of what it was like when you were unfairly treated by your ex-wife. When Helga would come in and grab you by the neck.
Never. Was always my fault. I forgive the whole thing.
There you go, Dick.
Here's the guy you want to marry. Smart man.
Absolutely.
Shadow figures, maybe it's an ex-coworker, ex-boss, or somebody you felt unfairly treated you, or that you felt was evil in some way or wrong in some way, and so you think that personality is real and capable of showing up. Who knows? Maybe in Robert. So far, it seems like a nice guy. This Robert character. But maybe when we get into business together and there's money involved, his personality might come out.
And it's like Helga.
Yeah. Maybe there's a shadow figure. I'm looking. I'm worried about him being one of my shadow figures. So I'll be kind of testing him all along and see how it goes. That makes it a little difficult on Robert. Because if Robert says something or does something that reminds me of a shadow figure, I'm going to decide he's that shadow figure. Maybe it's just a mistake. Maybe it wasn't anything at all. But I'll believe. It's always what you believe. Forgiveness always is in here. The shadow figures are things you drag along, baggage. They're this baggage you're carrying of assumptions and judgments.
In Lesson 134 today, it speaks about this subject at length. And it says, be still, okay, and go into the still place, all right, and find someone, all right. You will be given instructions as to who you ought to forgive. Don't do it yourself because you're upside down to begin with. But just be still and listen to the voice, and it will tell you each person as you go which ones you're supposed to deal with and eliminate. How's that?
Pretty nice that it's taken care of for you, huh?
You lost one.
Yeah, I gotta turn them off because they'll make noise suddenly. Okay. So this is sentence 3 now. Jason, on page 355 in the text. Without exception, these relationships have as their purpose the exclusion of the truth about the other and of yourself. Shadow figures are personas, and the ego would approve somebody if they fit the picture you had about them.
Yeah.
Then it's okay to go ahead and be closer. Because you're somebody who, I kind of always thought I'd be with somebody like you. It sounds so nice, doesn't it? Well, I got a little picture, before I even met you, I had a picture of what you were like, and here you are. Yeah. You never swear. You always leave the toothpaste out on the on the counter just the way I left it the previous day, so like I'm never surprised where the toothpaste is. Exactly what I thought. Don't mess that up, okay?
Try not to.
Good. Good. Times 1,000 different little things. Tones of voice, and do you hug me when I come home? Thank you. I think it's natural that when I come home, you should run, not walk to the door. Run. Or don't you think that means that's sort of how...
It means I love you.
Thank you.
Like the dog.
So obvious.
I mean, so I love you.
Well, that's
to
why we
run
get dogs.
to get the ice.
Yeah.
Huh?
That picture's been in my head since I was 6 years old.
Get a dog.
That's what my grandma did for my grandpa. And I want that in my life.
That's why you bring me coffee every morning.
Absolutely. I'll never forget.
Just like Grandpa.
Coffee will be there. It'll be just what you want. And that's how you'll know I love you. Now, conditional love is what we're talking about. Okay? So next is, this is why you see in both what is not there, and make of both the slaves of vengeance. And why whatever reminds you of your past grievances attracts you and seems to go by the name of blood, no matter how distorted the associations by which you arrive at the connection may be.
That's insane.
It's insane. But it's what you trust already. It's true.
It's insane, but it's true.
What we do. It's the pattern of the special relationship. That you meet my dream girl. And it's good. We're good to go. That's how I know I'll give permission to love or permission to be vulnerable, is when you meet the checklist. Conditional love. Pretty twisted. It's a defended way to live. It's not open-minded, not trusting. And it's very vulnerable. Quite weak, actually. But the ego is looking for strength. So that's exactly the game it's playing. I don't mind. Of course I was weak before I met you. That's why I want to be with you, says the ego.
We heal each other.
We heal each other. We complete each other. We're two halves that make a whole.
And then we get to repeat the shadow.
Such freedom.
Things that go wrong.
Yes. So eventually, after a year or two or so, where is the person I met?
They're different.
What is this darkness in you, this doubt in you?
Where is the love?
Yeah. He said you give to me, right? As soon as we were free. Where's the love? Well, now we're free and you hate me.
I thought you had it.
Huh?
I thought I had it. I thought
Right.
you had it.
Well, I thought you had it. That's it. Yeah. Did you tell me that you were happy? You make me happy. That was the idea. You make me happy.
I forgot to bring it. Didn't you break off?
Yep. Those are the shadow figures that are resurfacing.
The ego is very Machiavellian.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, survival, me, what I have to do so I can be happy. Surfaces, once the drunkenness of the shine and the specialness wears down a little bit. That's the special relationship. What we're going to read about is the holy relationship, where it's two wholes instead of two halves. Trying to make a hole, you end up in a hole. How do I get out of this hole?
Climb on the other one.
That's why the ring has a hole in the middle.
Try the ring has a
I
hole.
should have noticed that when I bought it. It reminds me of this relationship.
You can see right through it.
See right through it.
Wow. You got it. It's all set up just the way they wanted it, right?
Okay. The Course is calling it out. Calling spade a spade here. And finally, why all such relationships become attempts at union through the body. For only bodies can be seen as means for vengeance. Vengeance is anger and attack.
That's so mean.
It's so mean, yeah. Jesus did not have very good sex, I imagine. Maybe that was what it was. But he's making the point that if you're going to meet in vengeance, in anger, attack, or defense, you're going to need a body for that. That's the proper tool for that. Oh, there's nothing better. You know, the wrinkled nose and the slap. No, I'm not saying that's sex. We're talking about communication. Like this union that you had with your friend. There was just back and forth, but you know, when you got together face to face, you could really crank it up.
Yeah.
Total dance.
Or there's the time when you don't even want to crank it up and it just rears its ugly head no matter what you do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you do in a case?
Yeah. What happens is what's happening is the tones of voice,
Right.
the micro expressions, you cannot control because you're not a very good liar. And not a very good
That's
actor.
really true.
Hung it out. And this is the perfect person to witness them, and they're waiting for them.
And people witness
Watching
it
them.
too. People witness it. The circle witnesses those things too. It's not exclusion. It's not exclusive.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, you've been there. Yeah, thanks for helping us illustrate it. Okay, so bodies are the perfect thing for... so, sentence 7. That bodies are central to all unholy relationships is evident.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. They're really perfect for that. Bantering, attacking, and even for the make-up sex, so to speak. So, you know, you caught me and I'm really sorry. And I see...
Make it up.
Yeah, you really mean
What
it.
did you catch her doing?
I see we're both apologizing, so can we make it up somehow?
I'm so sorry.
I just want to show you how sorry I am. How can I... what can I say? How can I show you how sorry I am?
Oh, come here.
Okay. Yeah. And then the bodies really serve. They really serve right away. And suddenly it's like the holiest thing ever. Okay. Holy. Your own experience has taught you this. Okay. Case in point. Sentence 9. But what you may not realize are all the reasons that go to make the relationship unholy. For unholiness seeks to reinforce itself, as holiness does, by gathering to itself what it perceives as like itself. Now this is great, because that sentence is a rehearsal of one of these laws of A Course in Miracles, and that is, like begets like seeks like. In other words, as you give, you receive. Mm-hmm. Exactly as you give, you receive. It's all the same discussion. It's that beautiful circle. If you bring to the party what you like to eat, and then what you like to eat will be at the party when you eat.
Amazing.
It's really good math. It's really good math. So when you're...
Planetarium.
What's that?
It's like a planetarium.
How so?
What you project up there is what...
Yes. Indeed. Always yes. So this is the little law that's going on all the time. So that we can point out our own participation.
It's the prayer of St. Francis.
Okay?
Kind of, you know, if I give love, if I want love, I'll give love. If you want to see, if you want to be seen, see.
Nice. Yes. A self-fulfilling prophecy. For unholiness seeks to reinforce itself, as holiness does. They each would reinforce themselves. This is the thought that you're carrying will carry you. Of course, right? When you look at it, you don't escape your own thoughts. In fact, for every sentence you say, how many are backing it up that you don't say? The emotion that wasn't really spoken because you were biting your tongue. While you said, it's okay this time.
Run that one slowly again.
You live with your thoughts.
Yeah.
You are the first victim to anything that you say. Especially if you're trying to bite your tongue and try to be nice. What's behind it, you're going to live with that. So what we're talking about is you don't escape your own thinking ever. Especially
Even though
things
you
you say out loud.
withhold it from outside of yourself, it's
Yeah.
still inside yourself.
Exactly. Full effect.
Right.
When you say it out loud, it's the same full effect, plus the other person
The vengeance on
cracked their knuckles on what you just said. Now, you're not going to forget that anytime soon.
I know. So how do you?
Everybody here been married? You always watch out for the D word, right? You're working your way through your marriage, and things. The first couple of rocky times. Hopefully, we advise you to you don't just throw out the word divorce. You say, "Hey, we're having trouble." Not, boy, this is why we're going to be divorced. In this 6 months, I'm so mad at you. That's not how you know. So, a lot of things you won't say out loud. A lot of things you won't say out loud because you know when you say it,
Put it out there.
if you put it out there, it's taken form. Just like you may say, "Boy, I like to punch that."
Don't
right
say it.
Face.
Don't say
But
it.
you won't actually hit, right? Because, that's horrible. You're not a hitter. You said it to your friend, "I'd punch him in the face next time he does that." You never punched anybody in your life. And you're only willing to say that. You're not willing to do it. Okay? That's level 3. Level 2, you say it. Level 1 is think it. Course in Miracles says, you don't escape your thoughts.
And that's what we need to do.
You don't escape
those
them.
Thoughts.
Yes.
No, of course not. They run your life.
Yes. Yes. They're just as real as the punch.
You have to learn to think differently.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, that's where the adjustment is
That's
made.
the miracle.
Yeah.
Yes, miracles
Yeah.
allow you to shift off of the old habits
Oh,
that you
boy.
thought were safe and true. Yeah.
So in real life, I have a friend, and that person always complains, and it's I separated myself from that person for 6 months because I just don't like dealing with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And I texted him recently saying, one reason I'm avoiding you is because you complain a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a big challenge, but I don't think there's any resolution. How do I change me liking her complaining
You don't have to like her complaining. It's draining.
and not lose her friendship? I mean, she's a good person.
No, if
You
you
just
want-
see how, well, you
You
just,
can't take it personally then.
you see what pain she's in. You see that aspect of it.
Try for love.
She's a raging
Want to be around him
alcoholic.
all the time.
So there's a layer of alcohol.
There's a layer of alcohol driving that too.
Choose your special relationship carefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've known this before.
If it's a family member, if it's a loved one, it's somebody, a long-term friendship. One thing you have to recognize is you cannot make old friends.
That is so true.
So if that's an old friend,
It takes a long time to make them.
it takes a long time to make it. Right.
What do
You
you
can't make
mean
new
by
old
that?
friends. You can't make new old friends.
Like, you can't all of a sudden become my
30-year-old friend.
Oh, right. I'll wait 30.
Yeah.
You can't make
It's a time
new
thing.
old friends.
Okay.
You can become my new friend.
Yeah.
Right.
But it'll take a while before you're my old
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you've got some history with this person, you want to keep, you want, you think it's valuable.
Well, I want to support them being sober, being happy like they kind of used to be.
I think you did when you told them I'm not hanging out with you because you complain too much. it's a drag on me, and I'm not available.
Yeah.
That's a big thing to say that out loud.
I was texting. She was in Ireland.
Say
She was complaining about Ireland.
complain about
Lord, it's like, you're in Ireland. Go do something.
Yeah. But it's true. If it's somebody you care about, you can show up for them for whatever you can afford. And I think when you're that candid, that's showing up in the best possible way.
It's being honest.
It's being honest.
It wasn't an attack at all.
Uh-huh.
Not at all.
Yeah.
There's
And you
a,
guys truly have a history. I mean, it's meaningful coming from you.
yeah. For me, there's a real serious history problem.
Mm-hmm.
And It's not specific by person or anything. It's condemnation. And I'm seriously working on that because it is absolutely scatterbrained, no love, no knowledge of the whole situation, nothing. Okay? But I find myself in that tussle, okay, more than once every day. And more time I spend tuning into my thoughts, the less I get that. Which means I'm a more happy person, okay, than working with that judgment, with that condemnation. I tell you, that is really, and if I do get into something, I usually now stop and just say, oh God, I forgive myself for being such a jerk, okay? I didn't have the information. There was nothing here that supports my attack on somebody.
This is a shadow figure showing itself.
Huh?
It's a shadow figure showing itself.
Yeah.
When I think I know how to judge somebody's behavior,
Just forget it.
you could only know from the past some shadow figure. That's what we're talking about in this paragraph.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue. Claudia, are you up? Yes?
Can I just turn off a little bit that light?
Oh, yeah, sure. You guys okay with
It's
that?
just so hot. Huh?
Oh, you guys okay with that? She wants to turn the light off.
Is that no? Just that one over there. Just 'cause it's
Well,
so hot.
that's the switch over there.
I can do it.
No, I'm close.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, you're getting along pretty good with that
was
lighting.
that too?
hard to
No,
read.
that's too.
Bring a pillow and sit over here.
Yeah, I think it's too dark
Yeah.
for the readers.
Too dark,
outside.
okay.
No, it is. Sorry, I didn't realize.
It's room for one more.
Well,
It's not actually too much. But, yeah, but Jason just opened this window. That should help.
so give it a minute.
Give him the open the door, sure.
Maybe it's just me.
Open that door, Richard.
And the door's open too. So.
No.
Do a couple of minutes.
It's all about you. You know that.
Well, that's right. my thoughts are mostly about me. That's true.
Is that better?
Faults as they are.
In the unholy relationship, it is not the body of the other with which union is attempted, but the bodies of those who are not there.
Don't tell Marion that.
In the unholy relationship, it is not the body of the other with which union is attempted, but the bodies of those who are not there.
Just say, don't tell Marion that.
For even the body of the other, already a severely limited perception of him, is not the central focus as it is, or in entirety. What can be used for fantasies of vengeance, and what can be most readily associated with those on whom vengeance is really sought, is centered on and separated off as being the only parts of value. Every step taken in the making, the maintaining, and the breaking off of the unholy relationship is a move toward further fragmentation and unreality. The shadow figures enter more and more, and the one in whom they seem to be decreases in importance.
And the one in whom the shadow figures seem to be, where we're witnessing the shadow figures, that one decreases in importance as the shadow figure. I knew you were this way. Michaeline, I knew it. I actually knew it the day we met, and I ignored it. My friends told me, look out for her. I said, don't worry, she's different. And here you are, just like they said you would be.
Yeah.
So you are very small now, and my shadow figure, I've proven myself right, wins the day.
So you're stuck with that thought.
And it's stronger than ever.
Stronger than ever. It's been proven again, it's stronger than ever.
Proven
How
again
sad.
and again.
Yes.
Stuck.
Yes.
in the past.
My condemnation, once again, has blocked me back into my prison.
Yep.
I ventured out with her
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
All the while, those shadow figures are dancing around waiting for a chance to be judgmental, and they got it when she did that thing she did.
Bam.
You acted out my script so perfectly, I thought it was real.
Yeah, I got the proof.
That was
Proof I was right.
Kids that have an
proof it
Oscar.
was real.
Yes. In the unholy relationship. Yes, yes, yes. I think we can continue. Michaeline, paragraph 4, please. Unless anybody has a question about 3.
What paragraph we on now?
Now we're on 4.
Time is indeed unkind to the unholy relationship. For time is cruel in the ego's hands, as it is kind when used for gentleness. The attraction of the unholy relationship begins to fade and to be questioned almost at once. Once it is formed, doubt must enter in because its purpose is impossible. The ideal of the unholy relationship thus becomes one in which the reality of the other does not enter at all to spoil the dream. Can I read that again?
Yes.
The ideal of the unholy relationship thus becomes one in which the reality of the other does not enter at all to spoil the dream. And the less the other really brings to the relationship, the better it becomes. Thus, the attempt at union becomes a way of excluding even the one with whom the union was sought, for it was formed to get him out of it and join with fantasies in uninterrupted bliss.
Wow. Did he lay it on the line there or what?
Is the bliss anger?
The special relationship
Vengeance.
we learn in chapter 16, a special relationship is a type of union where union is excluded.
It's all about me.
Yeah.
It's all about my ego and satisfying my images and all of my dreams and all of those things that make me happy, I still think,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
but really don't.
It's the ideal that you hate what I hate and you love what I love. That makes you good. And you were good.
Until you woke up the next morning.
Spoiled the dream.
Spoiled the tree because
Makes it
you
easy.
had makeup all over your face.
Yeah, it's the special hate relationship. We call it the special love relationship, but it's actually a calm center in a storm of hate.
Yeah.
And the Course says, isn't it easier to say I hate than I love? Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I hate it when he does that. I love it when he does that. It's pretty rare. I love it. I hate it comes out quite often.
Well, you know, when you say I love to somebody, then you got to start wondering about what their expectations are of what that means. God, I'm not sure I want to take that back.
Oh, you said that before I got to read the contract. Am I supposed to say it back now?
Well, I want to read the contract first, thanks. I mean, everybody means something different when they say it, so what does it mean anyway?
What's it going to cost me? I think I know what I can get. What's it going to cost? That's chapter 16. And he says, you know, this kind of love that has a cost, that begins the minute you say those 3 words, the real cost begins then. You mean I can't kiss her anymore? Is that what you're trying to say? But she's a really great kisser. You're good, but you know, she's great.
Instead of being talked to somebody else.
We've become really good friends in the years that I've known her. We're not special anymore. We're not that close.
Just friends.
Yeah, we don't even hold hands. We don't even hold hands. You don't want me to talk to her anymore? Because I'm with you now?
That's so true. I didn't have a relationship for 18 years because I couldn't handle that. Because my friends were important to me. They all came.
Yeah.
And I did not know how to have that in my life.
Have you been here with any other woman before you make this reservation? I just want to know. I just want to know. Any of your other girlfriends?
I've seen those pictures of you with the first wife and the second wife, and now we're here.
Right.
And you want me to get my picture taken?
Now I'm next, is that it?
Yeah. Your next ex-wife.
Sounds so silly when you put it
But
that
it's
way.
that uninterrupted bliss.
This is a special. The special relationship has these dreams of perfection with a checklist to go with it. Holy relationship must be one where there is no future.
It's what?
So true.
There is no future.
Just right now.
Just right now.
Right now. That's all we have.
I'm curious what you're going to say next. And we're going to celebrate that.
Don't know if I'll see you tomorrow.
Don't know if it's going to make it till some other day, but right now I can't wait to see. And this is how you fall in love, is when you're actually open and available to what is happening right now. And something in you, like, with this person that you just really bash with, but there's an intimacy there that if I may speak for you, is pretty rare. This involvement with this person is...
People have tried to figure it out through the years. And there's no way figuring it out.
Yeah, you want to...
That's the joke.
You don't want to see you guys in the same room together.
Yeah.
This is involvement, this rare involvement. Yeah, when you have that kind of thing, willingness to be that close to somebody without the judgment. Mm-hmm. You okay? All right. Good breath. Keep breath.
Keep breathing.
Keep breathing. You get through it. Yes. Okay, so time is indeed unkind to the unholy relationship. Yeah. What's that song? I think it's like a band called Meatloaf or something. And
He was a guy.
You know what?
What was the song?
The song, which is something by the dashboard lights.
Oh, yeah.
It says, I will love you to the end of time. And now we're married, and I'm waiting for the end of time.
Waiting for the end of time.
Yeah.
The hurt you band around.
Time is indeed unkind to the unholy relationship. For time is cruel in the ego's hands, as it is kind when used for gentleness. The attraction of the unholy relationship begins to fade and to be questioned almost at once. Once the unholy relationship is formed, doubt must enter in. Because the unholy relationship's purpose is impossible. Mm-hmm. And that's the ideals, the ideal picture.
We can't really make each other happy forever.
You can't always make me happy. And I cannot always make you happy.
But you can't make anybody happy.
Turns out that's the truth.
Right.
But the reason why I chose you is because I thought that all I have to do is give you that foot massage when we were dating. The one that, led
You
to...
don't give it anymore. You don't do it
And that's all I have to do.
Just that one time.
I know, I do it once a month.
Oh.
If you have to.
If I have to. If I'm in trouble. Sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah. So it fades because we're not allowed to change. And if you do change, it better be in the same direction I change. Mm-hmm. Don't you love me? Aren't you going to start loving golf and learn to golf? Because I now love to golf, and I think you should be the golfer in life. Sure.
Carry your bag around.
As my father would say, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Okay, so the ideal of the unholy relationship thus becomes one in which the reality of the other, Michaeline in this case, and her wishes and her dreams and her ideals of opening a cupcake shop. Her idea of maybe doing some traveling. Now that we're retired, how about, once a quarter, we go someplace.
I'm retired. I don't want to ever go anywhere.
I've been busy all my life. Time to relax.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
When did that come out?
Uh-oh.
Don't want to go back.
You knew that I like to travel. And I've been waiting for this my whole, until we were retired.
Oh.
Yeah, but now.
Go with her.
And it's okay?
Yeah.
You don't love me? You're going to let me go with her?
Are you going to come back?
I don't know, but I don't think she is.
I don't know if I'll be here when you get back.
Oh, no. Maybe I better stay keep an eye on you. I know who you are when he's around.
Yep.
Yes, the ideal of the ongoing relationship thus becomes one in which the reality of the other does not enter at all to spoil the dream. Oh, Michaeline.
I know I spoiled it.
Just bite your tongue and take lessons, will you? Just try golfing. You'll get the hang of it. You will love it. You will learn to love
And I
it.
don't like bowling either.
Oh, that's because the ball's never the right size for you. Most women choose balls that are too small. You need a bigger heavy, and then it will roll straight. You just gotta try, okay? Try again. Try again. And don't complain so much this time. Just keep trying. Would that be okay, darling? Oh, sweet. God, I need the beer. You're so sweet. That's the girl I married. That a girl. Let's go. And remember to bring your right shoes. The bowling shoes.
That's freedom.
Okay.
Don't wear your house shoes on to the bowling. That's embarrassing for me.
Okay.
The bowling shoes. I know they're uncomfortable, but just for a night. Just one night.
And you're attractive.
Now we're both twice this week. Come on. Stop picking on me.
My little bowling bunny. Yeah.
Barbara. You're Billy Barbara.
You'll be happy. You'll be happy. Yeah, just don't let Michaeline show up and ruin my night.
The other one.
That's the one.
See? That's what we're talking. Isn't that a great sentence? The other does not enter to spoil the dream. And the less the other really brings to the relationship, well, the better this special relationship becomes, because I get it my way.
Right. The putty in your hands.
Quiet bowling bunny.
Why have a relationship then?
Yeah, where's the two-edged street?
Why have one at all?
Yeah, what's going on? Because I get what I want, that's why.
Make 'em over.
You know why? Because she carries my bowling bag. It's really good for me.
I'll go bowling and gotta carry the bag.
Yeah, because everything, I like having her along. Makes me look good. She's really pretty. And,
Well, she doesn't say anything.
yeah, she doesn't say anything. She's really quiet.
The less and less she thinks it is.
Yeah, the less she says, the better it is. And she's starting to learn that. I really love her. I love her. She's even better than when I married her.
She doesn't say anything anymore.
Don't say a thing. In fact, she looks at her feet the whole time. I think she really likes those shoes. She's the greatest.
You could do a stand-up. A whole stand-up routine.
Yeah. Isn't that how guys get they get into the final conversations with the girl and they have no idea where it came from. I thought you were happy. You haven't complained for years.
That's what I said. When women leave, it never goes back.
Yeah,
They hell on.
yeah, no fixing that. It's so far-fetched. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so thus the attempted union becomes a way of excluding even the one with whom the union was sought. For it was formed to get him out of it, enjoying with fantasies of uninterrupted bliss. My bowling bunny would never do anything to harm my one night of happiness with the guys at the ring. You wouldn't do that, would you? I knew you would. Yep, there it is.
Sick people.
Well, who's going to carry my bowling bag home if you go home?
Well, that's something you have to do for yourself.
I
Sorry.
think you should wait and then show that you love him. Yeah. After all, I did buy you those.
Car, you don't have to carry it personally.
I buy you things. I bought you those shoes.
Thank you very much. You can have them.
Oh, no. Uh-oh. That's really great discussion of special. That's a good discussion of special relationship, isn't it? Okay, let's
He does
continue.
not have any.
Huh?
Is that the bottom line?
No, what you want to do is whatever ones that you feel compelled to have, you would turn to holy relationships as fast as possible.
That's true.
Because a lot of times the very reason why you're having them is because there is a beautiful contract underneath that says, you know what, I kind of like you. I feel something kind of drawn to you, and I'm willing to push her aside so that we can be together. But if you let the ego drive that, you're going to crash all the time. That's what we're reading about here. But nonetheless, you can listen to joining in relationships. There's two really great things about relationships, special relationships.
The beginning and the end.
What? What's at the beginning and the end? Oh, yeah, right.
But the end of the special relationship does not necessarily mean that it is the end of the relationship.
Right.
Period.
Right out of the manual for teachers. Yep.
Period.
Right.
That's what I've learned from that other relationship. Every time, overdone, clear vision, nothing.
Back again.
Back again.
Yes. Yes. Even if
Well, we're
even
all
if the
connected,
person,
so
We
we
are
never
connected.
really get rid of any
That's right.
relationship, right? It's
And-
all becomes part of you. And we're just
even if the person dies.
Exactly.
Yes.
you're still
So it's not
my
an illusion of
roommate's
time.
husband died 6 years ago. She still thinks of him every day.
That's correct.
Yes.
And she's still identified by what she thinks of him every day.
And
Very
which is all those other. He's a shadow figure now. 'Cause all the other boyfriends and things get compared to that.
Very present. Yes. Yeah. And in more ways than that as well, as the manual for teachers touches on. Yes. So relationships, they are to make happy. The true function of a relationship is to make happy. That's a quote from the Course. Mm-hmm. If you didn't have your ego there to spoil it, you would instantly actually be happy.
I didn't get that the first time around at the Course in Miracles that I did. And it's just amazing how that took so long.
So it turns out that a relationship, you know what I mean? Of course, people is what we're talking about
Right.
here, but it applies to everything else. Everything else you can think of, you have a relationship with. A relationship is, at the very fundamental, a reflection of what you can afford for yourself. And without the ego, you can afford a lot. When your heart is full, you have a reflection of a full heart, and it's beautiful. Even with this person who complains all the time. If you're in a really good space, and you're there, showing up for her, you look so good. And you love yourself.
Not an issue.
Not an issue. In fact, it's really generous, and you love how you did that. Yes. Yes. So that's really the best relationships are for. The only value you can pull of them is the highest value there is. So good. There's that. Also, special relationships, intimate relationships, they are a very quick way to show you, dig up, make obvious those private parts of yourself, those private little secrets that are holding you back from your own sense of worthiness, abundance, happiness, joy, that you are included in the sonship and extension of God. All things that keep you from those thoughts are your private little hell and secrets. These relationships, because you can't escape them, tend to get those things surfaced. The kind of things that you're suffering. And you're able to ignore as long as nobody gets close enough to see them. You can ignore them. Nobody's there to witness it.
True. That's really true.
Yeah. But if somebody really close, eventually they spot it. Or you spot it because it gets flushed out. You find yourself saying things and doing things you wish you didn't do. Now good, it's surfaced. But so that's one of the benefits. The better benefit, of course, is to make happy. But most often because we're really busy in egomania. We want to forward to happiness, we'll forward some sadness instead. But that will be our lesson now of what we can release so that we can be sustainably happy. What do you have to let go of? What's in the way of your happiness? What's the block to the awareness of love's presence? These relationships can help bring them up.
And it's the fantasy.
Yeah. Watch out for those fantasies. Watch out for fantasies. Remember we did a meditation on fantasy one?
I don't think so. I don't know if I was good. Yeah, we did. I didn't.
Hope you were married.
Well, let's continue. It's almost like we want to read this whole book or something.
Okay.
Well, how many more years do you think this will take us? Like, what's this one? About 20?
I'd say lifetime.
20 to 50. I think it's less than 50 years, don't you?
The rate is going?
We'll be dying at the last chapter.
Just because you die doesn't mean I won't show up at 3 courses.
Once you know it, you always know it. It never goes away.
Yeah, once you're connected, we're connected.
Okay. 5. How can the Holy Spirit bring His interpretation of the body as a means of communication into relationships whose only purpose is separation from reality? What forgiveness is enables Him to do so. If all but loving thoughts have been forgotten, what remains is eternal, and the transformed past is made like the present. No longer does the past conflict with now. This continuity extends the present by increasing its reality and its value in the perception of it. In these loving thoughts is the spark of beauty hidden in the ugliness of the unholy relationship where hatred is remembered, yet there to come alive as the relationship is given to Him who gives it life and beauty. That is why atonement centers on the past, which is the source of separation, and where it must be undone. For separation must be corrected where it was made.
Okay, let's dig in, folks. This is a really great paragraph. This is the beginning of healing. This is part of like a bridge, a transition, where we go from the ugliness being so tangible to actually having the Holy Spirit come in and guide. Okay, let's dig in. Okay. How can the Holy Spirit bring His interpretation of the body as a means of communication into relationships whose only purpose is separation? True problem. If the function and the goal is separation, you will get separation. And that, if it is that you would not, our relationship is not really to include you and me, it's really just how can my life be better. If that's really what I'm after, eventually you are going to separate. You won't want to be part of one of that because you're going to...
I want to be happy too.
You kind of like to be happy too. Then it becomes obvious that I really don't care about your happiness.
I'm done.
I want to be happy first, and then we'll think about you. But you're done. You're so done.
I'm done.
So great. Okay, so now, sentence 2. What forgiveness is enables the Holy Spirit to do exactly that. To take what was made to prove separation and use it to enjoy unity. That's the Holy Spirit's function. Can do it with bodies too.
It's such a contradiction.
Isn't it? I hope so. Forgiveness is a contradiction. Forgiveness is nothing if it's not a contradiction.
Is what?
A contradiction. Forgiveness is nothing. Forgiveness is just lip service. If you don't see the contradiction, what? I'm going to forgive forgive her for something she did? That's insane. She should be punished for what she did. Now that is not a contradiction. That is what? Appropriateness. She did something bad. She should be punished for it. All is good in the world.
I never this book.
Wait, forgiveness is...
Forgiving.
The world's forgiveness is a contradiction.
Yeah.
Because it says, she did it, but I'm not going to punish her. She'll just do it again. Well, nobody learned anything. And I would have been walked on. I'll be once again the fool. No, she should be punished. She should at least say she's sorry. With some tears would be better. Right?
Helen, might just go buy you a bottle of wine.
Okay. I'm yours. Now, so forgiveness has to have a contradictory beginning, or it is not even required. Why even bother forgiving if he wasn't bothering you?
Don't you also have to have willingness?
Yeah. Yes.
A willingness to see it differently.
Yes, you do. See it differently because the way you're seeing it really sucks.
It really sucks.
That's what we're talking about. There has to be a contradiction present in order for the miracle to exist.
Happens to be able to see like that.
Make sense? Everybody on board?
You have to see it wrong before you can see it right.
You have to have something that's wrong in order to need to see it right. Otherwise, hey, go have a good time. You're having a good time.
You're just happy and joyous all the time.
That's right.
Then you're not even thinking about forgiveness because nothing negative out
You're
there.
in joy. You're in bliss. You're shining
It's my
light.
life.
Keep it up.
Good.
Looks good on you.
Leaving me looks good on you. It's a song.
This is very important. The words that we're reading in this book, miracle, forgiveness, atonement, these all deal, and you heard it here first if you haven't had this thought, with things that suck.
Yes.
That's what it's for, to relieve you of those things that suck, of being real. If they're real, okay, your life sucks. And there's no way out. That's what the book is saying. And it says it. It says, wow, if your ideas of the ego ideas were true, you should be depressed. And you would be indeed. And God would be cruel. And there would be no love. If you're right. But you're not right. At all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay? So, what we're talking about with a miracle, it has to have a contradiction in order to even be called forth. A miracle deals with what is not true. Everybody on board?
Yes, right on.
Right.
And it, with the Holy Spirit's guidance, you have a shift in perception. Because you thought it was true. You thought you saw something harmful. At the lowest levels, it's only things that are harmful. At the higher levels of your Course in Miracles training, you'll start to see the benefit of undoing even the beautiful sunset. But that's, the higher levels.
I don't see the sunset.
There's too much
Or
fog
you see
already.
it differently.
Yeah, you see it differently. But you no longer have...
It's not like evocative of the feelings and stuff that personally that I get addicted to, the mesmerizing beauty of it.
Some of this glow has come off.
Yeah.
But that's why I came back to Earth, so I could see a sunset.
There we go. Yeah. And to be joyous and free all the
How are
time
we
like
supposed to
you
enjoy
are.
that?
Yeah, why not? Play.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. That's why I married you.
Just keep that in mind.
Keep that up and don't forget. Yeah.
Wow.
But this is really important what we're talking about here. Jason really brought it up. And that is, it is good to be reminded of the conflictual nature of our work. We're here to get out of conflict. When you're not in conflict, hey, go share that joy. If you are in conflict, drop it. How, Andrew? How do I drop my conflict? Good. Miracle, forgiveness, and then take a breath. Enjoy the holy instant. Yes. Miracle is a shift in perception to what you have learned in this class and not in this book. What you have learned is not actually true. It's a shift in perception away from what you now know is only your thoughts making you feel bad. It's not bad. It's not good. It's nothing. It's just the world. But it's my body, and he said I have cancer. Well, you decide how much you're going to suffer over that. That's what we learn here, right? You decide, and then you get exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
As you give yourself the thought, you get the thought.
Yep.
So the miracle is a shift in perception away from the material to the spiritual. Always, always, always. And we're here to surface that, to free your mind from the material and all the aspects of materialism to the freedom of spirituality. The miracle always moves that way. That's the miracle. Then you have forgiveness. Then you have forgiveness, which is release. Just because you see it, or you've heard it, or you read it,
doesn't mean that's what it is.
It doesn't mean you can do it.
I give all I see the meaning it has for me.
That's right.
The meaning. The meaning.
Guess who's responsible for that?
Mm-hmm. This is why forgiveness is the tool. You will do this tool. Forgiveness will come through you, by you, and for you. With that little willingness to release what you have been practicing, perhaps all your lives. Or at least all week. Since this person did this terrible thing that you thought was so harmful to you, you could never forgive that. Well, there's baggage for you to carry. As long as you hold that weight, you will be having to carry it. So, first we do the miracle, the shift in perception from false to true. You all know what false is. You all know what true is. And this book is helping to illustrate that, and we do it every week. Now you just have to be willing to look. Look and say, what might be true about this situation that comes up? Then once you got a grip on it, oh, you know what? That's my stinking thinking. I'm the one who's really holding that. I should allow this person to make mistakes every once in a while. I do. You know what? I'm holding a grudge. That's a miracle, see? It's a shift in perception. Rather than what that person said being an attack, that's a mistake. It's them they were in pain. And I felt it. But you know what? The fact is, they were in pain. Nothing to do with me. That's a miracle, folks. It's a shift in perception when you have those kind of thoughts. But we're not done. You could still have a grudge. You may see it correctly. The grievance. Thank you very much. This is why grievances are so heavily laid on in the workbook. The grievances are habits of thought that you think will be helpful. They're habits of attack. They're habits of defense that you think will actually be good, appropriate, helpful.
And the way to see that, too, I think for myself, is they come up repeatedly.
Yeah.
Not.
It doesn't work. It gets solved.
It doesn't work, and it comes up in inopportune moments.
Yes. Yes. This is why forgiveness is required. Forgiveness now is that movement of your mind regarding that topic and what you believe is true about it. What you believe is true about it. You may have read, you may know that you're responsible for your thoughts. Good for you. But are you willing to forgive all the years of thinking the other way, that this was bad, and that you actually lost something? The habit that you think you lost something. For 10 years you've been thinking that every time you see this person. You willing to let that go? When the miracle is really in place, in other words, the shift in perception is clearly seen, the forgiveness happens automatically.
So are you forgiving yourself or them?
Always you.
Yeah.
Always you.
So you understand
Yes.
what happened
Yes.
with the person.
Yes.
And so you get an understanding, and then you have to forgive yourself.
Just forgive what you're carrying in your head about that situation. Lesson number 2. That's right. I give all the meaning everything has for me. That's where we're working. You still feel uncomfortable. Even though you like to forgive this person, okay, I see that you're really upset, and they said some things
Cry
like
for love.
cry for love, they really needed help, or they just really wanted us a hug, and they keep up with it ugly. With my name and a few other 4-letter words around it. But you know what? If I was in their situation, I might have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Of course, as you say, would you accuse yourself for doing this? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
You just try to... This kind of resets everything if you can do that. That's a miracle. The shift in perception. I actually want to let them off the hook. But you know what? I just can't.
That was nice.
I was unfairly treated, and I remember how bad I feel about that.
Yeah.
This is the attraction to guilt that we learned about.
And then what do you do?
Go back to the miracle.
Keep
forgiving yourself.
Keep doing it.
Forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
And you will go back to the miracle and see how forgiveness is justified.
Oh.
And then recognize that I'm holding on to this thought. Now it's nothing to do with the situation. It's me being poor me. It's me being attracted to the guilt.
You're keeping yourself from feeling joy and peace. You're hurting yourself. You're not hurting anyone else.
Here it
When
is.
you don't forget, forgiveness helps you.
Yes.
That other person ever did whatever they did.
Yes.
So what?
Yes, I've already moved
It's
on.
not happening to you now.
Yes.
right.
That's how I was thinking. It's not happening to me now. Right now, I'm good.
In the present,
Yeah.
we're free.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what you do, is you recognize these type of thought patterns, which this book is full of, helping you release these thought patterns from the past. The past is over, can touch me not. That's one of the basic lessons that would really have you scour and cut loose all of these things in the
Yeah.
past. They're not here.
One of the lessons is exactly that.
Exactly that. Yep. That's how you do it. That is what forgiveness is handling the baggage.
So you can have a miracle.
You can be in the present and be released. That's right. And the two are very tightly intertwined, but I'll tell you, when you allow yourself to see it differently, truly, when you really get to that, it was a call for love and not an attack, there's nothing to forgive.
Lesson 169.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
By grace I live, by grace I am released.
Released. Here it is.
I have a question about time and forgiveness.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm talking to the Holy Spirit. I'm asking for all this good stuff to happen. It's not happening immediately, but it's still going to happen, right? In some, I'm still thinking in time reference.
Yep.
So I don't see any immediate change in my thought system.
Yep.
Other than being aware of it. I'm wanting an immediate change in my perception now.
Yes.
It's slower.
Yes.
So it can happen later. You don't mind asking me now. I guess that's the question.
Yes, and the way the Course would phrase it is it has happened now, but it waits on you to allow it.
Oh.
And one of the ways to discover the truth of what I just said is to afford for yourself one instant of stillness where you're no longer waiting for it. In fact, you're no longer needing it. Because in the present moment, you couldn't receive anything anyway. If you allow yourself, afford yourself one single moment in meditation of just this very present moment, in between the 2 seconds, in between the thoughts, there is a wholeness and a stillness that's unassailable. Yes. You can't add to it, you can't take it away. It's so brief. It's so brief. It's so present There's not even time to have anything happen. That's what I'm talking about. When you afford your mind to go to that space and abide there, you will see that all your prayers have been answered. All of them. And then when you wander back into time, you can make either a mess or a joy of your life as you choose. But at least you'll know you're choosing it again. Okay, well, we're going to have to redo that paragraph next week because there's too much in it to pass up. Because this is really the transition phase from the fear thoughts to the loving thoughts. Exactly. I'm going to put a marker on that. Okay, let's have a little closing circle about bowling shoes.
What?
Take a deep breath. Receive all the power and the freedom that we've discussed about you today. The very next thought is waiting for you to have. The very next thought is always a thought of joy, of simplicity, of completeness. It's always waiting for you. It's what you truly are. You actually are a way for God to experience joy. That's what you're made for. You've all done it. You've had those moments where the energy flowed through you and you just wanted to share it. That's the very next thought. It's always waiting for you. You will find it in the present moment if you do nothing else. If you truly can afford to do nothing else but just be right here, right now, in a complete state of surrender. No other expectations. Just a complete relaxation. The truth of you will surface, and that next thought will come of its own. You won't be able to hold it back. You'll say, oh, how good it is to be right here in this present moment. I never knew. Then the job is to simply not move away from that moment. You would open your eyes. You would live your life. Remember to stay right in this present moment. When you are free. That's the key. And you will discover your heart is full, and your heart has the power, as it spills over, to show other people too. They too can be empowered by their very next thought, being that of completion. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you. Thanks, Andrew, for teaching us.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
No post.
Walking through here.
I'm glad.
It's good for that.
It's good for that. I'm glad it came to that.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.